Hi, this is Jim Jamieson from Province Sports. I'm here with Peter Robb, sports editor of the Ottawa Citizen. We're going to set up the Tuesday night game between the Canucks and the Ottawa Senators, who are in town. They're going to play at Rogers Arena. Peter, let's start off with the Senators. They've had a really good start. The last few games, they had a stumble. They've got 2 wins in their last 6. Talk about the start and sort of what's gone off the rails a little bit here in the last few games.
Well, I think the start, I think they snuck up on some teams. They surprised them a little bit. The goaltending has been very solid, especially Craig Anderson. He's been lights out basically over the last 10 games. Seems to me that when they run into a bit of trouble, the goaltending has suffered. Robin Leonard has had a couple of bad games last night against the Leafs and then a game against Boston. But also the defensive mistakes that were plaguing the team last year, they've been showing up a little bit. However, on the homestand, they won 2. Anderson shut out Minnesota, a pretty good club, and they really handled Detroit very well. So I think there was a lot of optimism rebuilt. Good game against Winnipeg, which they probably could have won. Last night against the Leafs was embarrassing a little bit. You know, Carlson, the captain, was caught out a couple of times. They gave up a shorthanded goal, and that's never a good sign. So that little defensive kind of wobbliness showed up again.
Speaking of Carlson, Erik Karlsson, of course, former Norris Trophy winner, he's your resident superstar.
Yeah.
I see he's getting his points, nearly a point a game, but obviously there's more to the position and more to being a captain than simply getting points. How has he been? Has he been good enough, consistent enough for the
I think
Senators
he's been
this
a
year?
bit uneven. We've had a good game and a bad game, good game and a bad game in the last 6. I think he played very poorly against Boston, and he did not play very well last night. A couple of the goals are directly attributable to turnovers by Carlson. I mean, the guy can just turn it on seemingly at will sometimes. I mean, he skates so effortlessly, even though he's still, I think, bothered by the Achilles tendon injury. He's playing a lot of minutes, and you got to wonder, you know, the captain's role, that it may dominate his mind a little bit. He's doing a lot more media after the games, which he didn't do before. There's a lot happening to him, so maybe a little bit too much ice time, which I think he probably would not agree with me at all, but that's maybe where we're at.
Players rarely would.
Yeah, I can't imagine one that would want, but he's up around 30 minutes every game.
Ooh, yeah,
and that's a lot.
That's too much.
That's a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get on to the Canucks. They're just getting back from a road trip that a lot of people thought they wouldn't have too much success. They had great success against some of the California teams. They've got some injuries, but obviously they've got a couple of lines. The Sedin line seems to be playing pretty well. They might not have Rabada in the lineup, but the second line has been good. How do you think the Senators will approach this game against a team they don't see very much during the course of the year?
I think a team they're a little bit worried about because they've heard about the record and they know Ryan Miller really well. I mean, he was the number 1 in Buffalo for a long time and always, you know, played well against Ottawa. He tended to lose to Ottawa, funnily enough, but he played well. So they know that, and they also know the Sedins. They've seen them before. I think McLean has won 2-1 against Vancouver over the last 4 years, 3 years, however long he's been coach. So I think they expect a team that can skate, a team that can score, and then they're probably going to be thinking a lot about defense first tonight or tomorrow night. You may see them trying to slow things down a little bit to their pace. We'll see.
Would you expect Anderson to be back in goal?
Oh yeah, Anderson's probably now going to play for a little bit, I think. I think they need a stabilizer, and he has been pretty good. I mean, some of the saves he's been making have been stellar.
Thanks for joining us, Peter.
Okay,
Peter
thanks,
Robb,
Jim.
sports editor, Ottawa Citizen. Jim Jamieson for Province Sports. Thanks for joining us.